Oh, yeah. Let me see.
It's 7 o'clock. Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Mike Brown?
Here.
Debbie Grove? Here. Sarah Porter? Here. George Pushies?
Here.
Here.
Okay, we're looking for a motion for the approval of the November 19th, 2024 board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the November 19th, 2024 board meeting minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Nay.
Can't go that way.
Okay, looking for a motion for approval of the October 30th, 2024 special board meeting minutes. Or board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the October 30th, 2024 special board meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Did you say October or November?
October. We're doing October's and November's. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
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 Looking for a motion for the approval of the November 22nd, 2024 special board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the November 22nd, 2024 special board meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. And we're looking for a motion for the accounts reconciliation.
I make the motion to accept the account reconciliations.
I have a question about those, if I may. uncashed checks generally sit and not get follow-up, or what is the timeline for follow-up?
What are you talking about, checks that we get in that aren't cashed?
Nope,
What-
checks we've issued that are outstanding.
Normally Ken addresses those at when we have our audit.
So, we wait, because this is actually outstanding from our previous fiscal year. And I know I in particular got asked about an outstanding check I had, which was just by error, promptly took care of that. But there is one that is from that time period, and I'm wondering, it's not very much, it's cheating something to the state is an ugly process, so I'm wondering how long, if, I guess you're saying the auditor is the only
He
catch.
usually catches those and puts them, because after, I think it's 90 days, or it could be 60, I'm not sure, the check's no good.
So it's like a 90-day
Yeah,
limit.
So then you'd be reaching out and not asking?
I can.
I mean, okay, so, that's one thing, and then on our reconciliations, and I don't know how this necessarily works in BSNA, but there are many accounts that have zero balances sitting in uncleared transactions, so those generally should be cleared, they're probably a correcting item, but they will forever remain on this list, and maybe that's an auditor cleanup, I'm not sure.
It's not something I would,
Yeah, I can ask Ken if we can clear those out, but I don't do anything without asking first.
Okay. And then. That's all for this one. Stay tuned for, this is next topic.
I will, second Debbie's motion.
I'm good.
Yeah, your answer's an answer.
I did, for now,
Motion's an
except for
answer.
now.
So we have a motion and a second on the accounts reconciliation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Now, item 4, the disbursements. So those have not been changed since the last meeting. There's been no update on those disbursements. And that's due to the BSNA system is set up at this
We
time.
just haven't had any, the tax season just started December 1st, so
Okay.
we haven't had any more disbursements since last meeting.
Can you explain that for me, please? I don't understand what you mean. Like, what do you mean?
Disbursement is when you disperse money to the library, the fire department, roads, all the stuff that goes to the county, drains, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so on this report for just the general fund, there's $107,000 in cash disbursements for the month of November. That historically was provided in this,
Yes,
from QuickBooks, it's all the checks we write for the month, plus a payroll, which Terry got with payroll. So, right now, we are providing no detail to what the township is spending. People can see open checks that have not cleared, but they cannot see what this $107,000 of disbursements were.
Mike asked me about the disbursements, I thought they were just tax disbursements. I've never produced a report, that would be something the clerk's office would do, and Tara probably doesn't know that at this point,
Yeah,
because she's
I think
brand
it's
new.
just a matter of finding out from BSNA what we can print that captures that 107, and that's what we would include as the disbursement report in this agenda, because it's been in there every month. Nothing's been produced since we switched to BSNA. And now you know where the payroll is, Tara, so that would be the other one, and then the budget one was included.
So we've had nothing,
No,
No,
since April, we have not had that reported, but it's been on the agenda and just kind of not talked about. So, I would move that we would strike the word disbursements from the agenda before making a motion to vote on that.
39?
Well, it's all in line items, you got payroll and you got budget.
Yep.
For the budget report, I don't know if George wants one, I mean, you guys are privy to information in the office that we're not, and I don't, if I could get some sort of cheat sheet on what this code means, the codes mean, because the budget's only printed and it just says salary, 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 so unless you have that 3-digit code, I don't know what I don't know what the categories belong to.
Okay.
Like for instance, right here.
Even if she wanted it, is it something that she can actually provide?
I think so. I think they probably have another report that shows that level of detail. I don't know, I can't find it right now, but the budget report isn't detailed enough to actually tell us what category that's for. Yeah, so see, it's all just salaries and wages all the way down, so unless you know what 101, this is my guess, just by analyzing the report, 101, 171, 215, all these seem to be the departments they go to, but there's no detail behind this, so if I could get maybe something printed that I'll just keep and then reference when I'm trying to look at.
You just want it broken
No,
down?
I have something for it, but I will look.
Okay,
You want it broken down?
well, I just need to know what these codes belong to, these are all gonna go to something, whether it's cemetery, border review,
Yeah, she talked about the GL codes.
yeah, that,
You know,
Yeah, that she, yeah.
that's all.
Yes, that was strike, that she has one
Okay.
that, Sarah made a motion that we strike
Nobody's,
disbursements from the
nobody's
agenda.
seconded yet.
Oh, I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to strike disbursements from line 4 of the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passed. Is there any other additions?
Oh, wait, we still have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion that we approve the payroll and budget report for November.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the payroll and budget report for November, the month of November. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion passed. Any other additions to the agenda anybody would like to add?
Other change and an add, please. Number 24, a letter from Ranger Power, I think should read letter from Headland Solar.
Item number 24.
Considering,
Instead of Ranger, should say Headland.
Instead of.
Instead of Ranger.
Do you guys turn on your mics?
Why is that?
Is the volume up on the
To your
controls?
face. Get a little close.
And then I'd like to add under old business, I believe, I guess maybe we would call it 14A, brief Civic Plus discussion, which is the company we hired to do the ordinance codification.
under old,
Old business.
I think it's old
She
because it
wants
was,
to add
just
a
to.
brief discussion
Just
of
make
civic
it
club.
14A.
14A.
yeah,
Yeah.
I said it.
On the codification.
Yep.
An addition, Livingston County Health Department,
Didn't say any health department.
Yes.
Under new business.
under new business.
Item 26.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with the changes of 14A 24, change to Headland Solar, and 26, Livingston County Health Department.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to, add 14A for discussion on codification, brief discussion on codification. We have an add to item 26 under new for Livingston County Health Department discussion. And we have a change in item 24 for, the change from Ranger Power to Headland Solar. And we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. We move on to call to the public for, agenda items. I believe it's on.
Right on top there,
Okay,
Steve.
all right, great. All right, Steve Smith, Robert. Three things to talk about. First, I really appreciated Bill and Guy's comments at the last meeting. I appreciate the board allowing some public input as we went along. I realize that sometimes it can be too much, but I think it really helps. Not only because there's a lot of knowledge and expertise here in the community, but also, I don't think it's fair to put all the burden on 5 members of the board to expect them to know everything and to make all the good decisions. We need to take all responsibility for that. Under the building, now, I may have gotten this wrong last time, but if I got it right, we paid the brick guy $2,500 to increase his liability insurance from $750,000 to $1 million. And my question is, did he have to pay $2,500 additional just for insurance for this job? Or does he have it for all of his jobs now? I think that should have been addressed. And you can answer that later. On the assessor position, first of all, I want to clear the air. Back when we had that special meeting, and I, to appoint, the motion was to appoint Brandy as the assessor. And I raised some questions on that and some of the other residents too, and there was nothing negative intended about Brandy at all. We were just trying to understand the situation. The unfortunate thing about the assessor situation we're in is that it was left for the last minute, or 5 minutes before midnight, before it was addressed. And I think all 5 previous board members need to take some responsibility for that, because they all could have brought it up long before. We knew for over a year that Karen was going to be retiring. 3, I personally support Brandy if she's willing to do this, to retain her as assessor, if at all possible. She helped me in a situation, property tax situation, and I've had 2 other residents tell me that she helped them as well. My situation, which you'll all get a laugh out of, was I noticed this years later, only noticed it this year, one of my parcels that I own was coded agriculture improved, but there was no buildings on it. I finally caught that, there was no buildings on it. And it turned out a neighbor's building was mistakenly being assessed to me. So for years and years, I paid property taxes on my neighbor's building. Anyway, Brandy helped me straighten that out. I think she knows the township, and I think she's been willing to work very hard. I certainly believe that she's done most of the work. The other 2 candidates we had, the man from Howell Township, if he wants 44,000, we know he's not gonna put it in as many hours as Brandy did. If we're paying him $44,000, for less than 2 days' work, I mean, this guy must be making $140,000 a year. The other candidate, Judy, she seemed to me, you know, I didn't interview her, know anything about her, but she just seems like she would be a good trainee candidate. So thank you.
Bill?
Thank you all. So nice being here rather than there. So I received a phone call last week from the postmaster in Fowlerville. She said we have received numerous mailings addressed to our physical address, which they cannot deliver since we do not have a mailbox. She suggested that we install a mailbox at our location, even though they know the mail belongs to us. If it's addressed to our physical address, they cannot put it in our P.O. box. They must return it. I know from past experience that we stress that our P.O. box is listed, however, we are receiving mail addressed to our physical address. This could well be the cause of missed billings and other important mail. Just a suggestion that the board address this issue. I also see that hiring an assessor is on our agenda this evening. I had made a motion that we hire Brandy Nagowski at a previous board meeting. Brandy has a serious amount of experience with our township and has contributed immensely to the assessment position. I do hope that the current board sees the sense in moving forward with hiring Brandy, as the implications of not doing so has rippled through the county and has serious monetary implications for our township. I am curious what the decision is regarding your home solutions addressing the attic mold and gaps at the peaks of the east and west end of the buildings. This was postponed until this meeting tonight, but I don't see it on the agenda. I do hope that the board sees fit to contribute to the Fallsville Senior Center as it has done so in the past. And last item, I wanted to support the appointment of Debbie Grubb to the Fallsville Fire Authority Board. She well knows the workings of the fire department, having been the wife of a firefighter for many years, and is fully supportive, as I have been, of having a substation in Conway Township to improve response times for our township. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? And with the reports and communication presentations, we're gonna start out with the recreation report. Randy?
Hi guys, my voice is coming back. I did lose it last week, so I apologize if it's crackly. We had our meeting with the other municipalities at Handy Township on November 25th that I discussed with you guys at the last meeting. I did not receive any input from any of the 5 board members on the agreement that I presented to you guys, so I only took my suggestions to that meeting. At the meeting, we did look over the senior agreement to see how the wording would be better than the agreement that was presented to us, and it was all of our opinions that it would be. Bonnie has worked really hard on meshing it together to have it more fluent, combining the 2 agreements to make it for a better situation that we're in now. We went over some dates. We all kind of agreed that we shouldn't have like a last date to enter into a new contract until April, which would give sufficient time going forward to get correct budget stuff, and if there's discrepancies in the numbers and participation and the participation fees, cause in the past it's taken up to 3 months, and I don't know when they would start that process, but that would give all 5 municipalities, an extra month cushion before we signed a contract. And then, it is my understanding that the work that we did at the 25th meeting to combine the two, Bonnie has been working on, and it's very close to being done. And then we were gonna try to get together with the next 2 weeks being short weeks, hopefully like the first week or second week in January with the 5 representatives again, and, make sure that we're all in agreement with it, and then we're gonna send it off to Homier to make sure it's like legally backable and everything. Anyone have questions on that meeting?
Any idea when a draft would be available?
It's, I believe, like 99.9% done. I spoke with Bonnie last night, I'll see her Thursday at work, so, as soon as I have that draft, I will forward it to the 5 of you
Thank you.
and keep you updated when it goes to Homier. Hopefully we were able to catch everything that we all had, and then if you guys could, when we get it, give whatever kind of feedback that we can before it's sent to Homier, I would really appreciate that, to save on an extra attorney fee.
To be clear, Mr. Homer drafted the document, correct?
What he did is he took our, current agreement, and he had a little bit of, guidance on what those topics that I went over with you guys, and that were all the changes that he made, but he wasn't made quite aware of exactly what the townships were looking for. That's where there was like the discrepancies in dates, it was old dates, not new dates. We decided to take out, like, we had a clause in there about buying the equipment, why do we care now? You know what I mean, there's just certain things where the situation is different, where it's gonna be, I know it's not a donation, but kind of like a donation or a flat rate fee instead of it being flexible, that under the new flat rate thing, certain things just aren't applicable to the situation anymore. So that's what we cleared out, and then, like I said, the senior agreement that Handy Township had is kind of the same situation with dispersing taxpayer money, so it was much better written. So she took bits and pieces that were important from the first draft that you guys saw and blended it with what was important with the wording from their senior agreement. And from what I understand, it's coming together very nicely. So it's draft 2, but it's kind of a new document at the same time.
Thank you.
Yep. That it on that meeting? All right, we were supposed to have a meeting on December 5th for the regular recreation meeting. It was canceled because the township representatives would not give the superintendent or the school board the draft because we already knew that it was bad or not what we wanted. So they went ahead and canceled the meeting. I asked if they had board approval. I was told no, that the superintendent, talked to a few board members and they were not gonna have it unless we produced the document. We're not gonna produce the document that they weren't willing to pay for and that it's not ready to be produced to the public, or to them. So they canceled the stuff. We did request to get our information outside of the meeting so that I could make sure that our numbers were correct, because the December participation will directly affect our last January bill. We were produced with that. I did go over it. I did give our okay from Conway's. I was given our current percentage and our current participation in our current bill. We are, a little over 10,000 right now. So the bill will come out in January, and before that is paid, I would really like to look at that, because there are terms of our new agreement that they can't exceed a certain amount of numbers, and I wanna look at where we were last week compared to what we are going to be billed for. Does you guys hear that? Yeah. Is it loud? Something's, wow,
Did you put the batteries in it this time?
nope,
No?
sure didn't, but it's still green,
It quit.
yeah.
Brandy, what did you mean by there's a certain number they can't exceed, number of what?
So our current agreement is they cannot bill either in the January or December more than 50% of what we were, okayed for their budget, which was just over 121,000. So altogether for all the 5 townships, they cannot bill us more than 50% of that amount. And, cause we're still under the last agreement, and even though we were under the last agreement, we should have been able to hold our December meeting and we were denied it. And does the new board want me to continue to be the rep?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. I'm already appointed, so I just wanted to make sure, cause it's new people.
I wanna back up real quick.
Yeah.
On the meeting that was, not held, do they have the discretion legally to do that, to not hold that meeting, or is it up to the townships too?
The agreement that we're in is between the 5 municipalities and the school board. Nowhere in the agreement does it say the superintendent, so I do not believe it was legal, but I'm not an attorney.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And one more little tidbit to that, they canceled the meeting, and by canceling the meeting, they're supposed to put notice within 3 days.
Do you guys still hear it?
So why they
Replacement.
canceled the meeting and all that, that was not done.
So they broke the agreement.
It's weird.
Okay.
I shut this off because it's awful out here. You guys have anything else?
Not at this time, no.
And I know that, one more thing, we're supposed to get updated percentages. We're in like a chain email. I have responded on behalf of Conway. I haven't seen a response email from the other 4 municipalities, not saying that it hasn't happened, but we are currently at 24.84%, and when we get that final number that everyone agrees and all the, participants are right, these, the last percentages are what we're gonna lock in to what each township is gonna pay for the 120. So like, if it was corrected and today, we would pay 24.84% of the 120,000. So that's why it was also very important, not only for the January bill, but that's the percentage we wanna go off for this coming up year. And then-
24.84.
That's what we're currently at, but sometimes Handy Township ends up with our people, so it could change a little. And we're supposed to get that update when the other 4 townships, submit that they're okay or sign up and, people get moved around where they're supposed to be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Planning Commission ex officio report.
Basically, we had our meeting last Monday night, and it was, the gist of the meeting was, and everybody on the board has, the minutes from that meeting, the draft minutes. And basically, it was a site plan review for the Krieger fuel station, and basically it was on screening, was the gist of the meeting, was basically around screening, but the board, planning commission did recommend approval with some stipulations.
Okay, we're on to old business. Back to the McKenna contract. We'll have a copy of that in front of you. It was sent to Abby, our attorney, and she advised that it is good to sign as it is written. That is also the email from her back and forth is also attached.
This is not the one-time agreement, this is the continued agreement, correct?
Correct, and within the agreement, we have some, 90 days of termination, things like that, so it's not a lot for the.
But this is related to the master plan and, ordinance updates.
Correct, and, we did have the codification of our ordinances done and stuff, I believe that, that should be something that is looked at also probably by the planner and our attorney to make sure that we're all heading in the right direction with all of it. good with it?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So then the next one is the qualifying letter. Basically, the qualifying letter is, Deb, do you wanna speak on this, or do you want me to go forth with the qualifying letter that you and I had talked about last week and what it was about?
If you want, you can go ahead.
Okay. So the statement is, that basically saying that our criteria has been met in, under, section 303(3) of Public Act 34 of 2001, and that, we are all in compliance and good and ready to continue to move forward, because of the good work of the people that are in our treasury department.
Deb, is this also related to when the auditor was here and he said, after we fixed all the issues, and he said, now I can go back and tell the state we're in compliance? That
Compliance,
resulted in
that's what
this.
that is about.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it was only the.
Because we were over
one
budget,
thing, yeah.
and then we fixed things, and then
Yes.
we were under budget, and
Right.
it resulted in this. Okay.
The next item is the shared drive for the planning commission, so we've been trying to work on a shared, folder and stuff for our planning commission, so they can input everything, from the planning commission, have a couple of add-ins, which I'm gonna propose that we do the chair and the, secretary of the planning commission and the clerk as admins for it, so that everything can be compiled when they're starting on this master plan and all the work that they're getting ready to do here. All can be put in this file, and shared by everybody in-house is how we're gonna start it. And then expand from there, we're hoping, so that the public and stuff can have access to it and see exactly, what the planning commission is doing and moving forward on with, because we do have a lot of things that are coming their way with the master plan and other things that are happening. So it's just, I did not say vice chair, but the vice chair has the same duties and stuff as the chair. And we're not sure how many admin we really want, like that many on it, so we're gonna start with the chair, the secretary, and the clerk. And kinda feel it out and see how that goes. We think between them three, it should be all be covered at least. Kept up.
Question, did you skip number 9?
I did.
Yeah.
The ARPA, I'm sorry. Let's back up to number 9, ARPA funds. So,
The ARPA funds, we had thought about, moving it, but what's left of the ARPA funds that we dedicated that money to has to still stay in a separate bank and where it's at, not commingle it with any other money. And when we get ready to pay that out, then we'll pay it out from that account, and then the ARPA money will be done. But Ken feels it's best to leave it right where it's at.
No, I agree.
and there has been a contract signed
Yeah.
for the finished Fowler Road from Morley to Lovejoy. That
When
is,
we actually do it and get the bill, that's when it can come.
so that's just an update on the ARPA funds, and next one is the bank statement review. And that's the qualifying letter that we have, I'm not sure how that got on there twice, but that's the qualifying letter
Yeah.
that we already discussed.
So those go together?
Correct.
Yes.
I think those went together. Sorry.
Yeah, I was referring, I thought it was monthly bank statement.
I thought it was also because the auditor wanted, this hasn't been addressed yet, the auditor wanted signatures, someone to review on the board,
Correct.
signature on the next.
So with those bank statements and stuff, with that, and the signatures and what was presented before, with all the changes that you've had, that has to be redone. Approved and signed on that.
Okay.
And that, because of the changes and the stuff that's happened and all the
That was,
positions.
that they published a little while last year, and I'm thinking,
Correct.
Yeah, we have to redo it. We have to redo it because we're gonna have, I'm gonna have a new deputy starting after Christmas here. And so in order to update that, we need to have all of those changes made. And then we need to, I don't know if Sarah, you're talking about us having somebody review the bank statements too. Yes.
that's what I thought.
So, once we get all of the signage
We'll
situated,
address it again.
January.
Okay,
I think we need to put it in January.
that's fine.
Okay.
And then the laptop update.
Okay, so we received the one new laptop that we ordered and then refurbished, one of the old election laptops. We are going to have applied, which is our, tech team, the people that handle our laptops and everything. They're gonna be coming in to set up the new laptop, get all of our planning commission members and everyone on the same page with what, software we have, because I found out this week that not everyone had the same stuff, so the initial laptops we took care of are done, they're here, we're getting that set up. Applied has to come in and set one of them up for us. And then I need to go through everyone else's, and we're just gonna try to do everything in one swoop, have everyone set up at the same time. And they're gonna come in, first or second week in January, so we can get all of that done.
I don't know if this is the time to talk about it or not, but about an additional laptop for transcription purposes of the meetings. No disrespect to Susie, but if we can get that transcription service on a laptop, we can eliminate the person that has to do the transcription or the taking of the minutes.
Okay, we can check on that.
Yeah, we can look at the transcription service, like, yeah.
See what it is and all that.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
On that note, I'd like to, when we get the opportunity, talk to Abby about the appropriate detail in minutes. We've gone from not much detail, not very transparent, to an abundance of detail, and I have a feeling as a lawyer, she will want to recommend somewhere in the middle. For legal reasons, of
Understood.
writing every single thing down, so I'd
And-
like to address that when we can.
Per legal counsel, it may be inadvisable to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we have spoken about it in the past.
Yeah, I didn't see we had, but we could revisit that.
Okay, the next item is the Fowlerville Senior Center it's not really a donation, probably should scratch donation off that list also. Fowlerville Senior Center has sent us a letter and a breakdown of all the expenditures and stuff that they have, and they're asking us for our support, so that our seniors in our township have a place to go and meet and take part in all their activities. In the past, I found that we have given them $2,000. They are asking for $4,000 in this letter. And it's not a donation, it's just us supporting our seniors from our community, so they have a place to go and take part in all their festivities and things that they offer.
Understood, but I'm gonna reject that, any donation to the Fowlerville Senior Center, based on the lack of minutes of meetings and accountability of where the funds are being spent. I don't care what was in this board pack, okay? When members that go there ask for records and are not provided the records, I'm objecting. They haven't really done anything except maybe renovated some bathrooms in there. They've had multiple directors over the last couple of years. They've come and they've gone, they basically run them off, the way I look at it. And if you think I'm gonna encourage donating a nickel to that Fowlerville Senior Center, you got another thing coming.
George, who went and asked for stuff?
My mother.
Oh, undercover?
No, she was a member. She's a member there. She was. She won't go there anymore.
Okay,
Okay?
that's good to know.
Any other discussion on that right now? So I'm gonna ask if anybody would like to make a motion for support for that in an amount that they may or may feel comfortable with and supporting. And move from there.
I think it's a large increase from what they originally.
Before you vote on supporting that, can you ask them for details like George just outlined?
I'd like to see minutes for the last year, and I'd like to see an accounting, more detailed monthly accounting and monthly minutes of their meetings that they conduct.
And in the packet that they sent us, that is in the packet online and stuff, they do have a breakdown of things. I mean, I can write anything down on a piece of paper, obviously, right? So where these numbers come from for sure, whatever, I'm not sure. I don't believe any of us are.
Do we have any idea how many Conway Township residents actually go there?
I have not contacted them to ask them that question.
So I'm just, what are we getting for?
Yep.
For, that's all I'm saying, okay, and I'm a little biased, I get it, but I mean, if we're gonna talk about fiduciary responsibility here, you know, just because they come knocking doesn't mean you have to give them.
Well, these donations, the donations by the 6 townships they're collecting from are making up most of their budget. The rest should be it's
Well,
noted as fundraising and activities and such, membership dues. That's only 8,650 out of 32,600. The rest comes from those townships saying, okay, yeah, here you go.
Well, they were given some COVID money, and it was a sizable amount of
Well,
money.
they referenced that they're not
They're
gonna be getting
not
that.
gonna be getting that anymore.
I
Understood.
think that might be why the 50% or more than double increase, but it's definitely coming from the bulk of the money.
Yeah, and there's an organization that was providing those directors, I think it's Livingston Charities or something to that effect. And what I don't understand is why they get these directors in there and then they leave, and then they get a director and then they leave. I think there's something else going on. So anyways, that's all I got.
So with nobody wanting to make a motion, if I go and try to find some of these answers for us and bring it back to next month's meeting, we can move from there. And if nobody wants to do anything at that point in time, then I'll make a phone call. But I'll make a phone call and find out.
At least request it.
If nobody's willing to make a motion tonight.
And I guess if there's a way for them, I don't know how that would work, that how many residents out here go there and use it.
I wrote it on my list of questions to
Yeah,
ask. So
because a lot of these things have been asked in the past too, so.
Okay, moving forward. Snow removal. So, this was put on an agenda a couple months ago. It was tabled. Then we had an issue with the meeting not happening. We're to the point now into the season, and just as my opinion, it's like what we would have to do to post this in the paper and do a lot of stuff to try to get bids for this. The current person that we have, his contract was for 2024, so he has already come a couple times. I just took that as 2024 is
Through the end of the
through the end of the year, so he had come once and plowed, and I believe it's twice and salted. So I don't know if this board wants us to try to put this out there for bids at this point, or continue using who we are using and have been using for quite a few years. And then revisit this again next year at an appropriate time, before this actual season starts. He did not change his pricing from last year to this year, it's the same.
I think we should just stick with Bob, and then maybe next year, before winter sets in.
Correct, September or something, start, put it in the paper and get some bids
Yeah.
going and do some stuff.
That motion.
I was gonna say, should we make a motion?
Yes. I make a motion that we continue with, Bob Moe to do our snow removal, and relook at it at like September, October next year,
At the current price.
at the current price.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, any more discussion? To, continue our contract with Great Lakes Outdoor Solutions is the name of it.
Correct. Did you?
You guys are having a lot of backbeat there too.
Yes. For the current price, of what he had been doing in that.
Did you roll call vote for that?
Well, it's, I mean, we could, because technically we are spending money.
Just do it.
Okay. George Pushes.
Yes.
Sarah Porter.
Yes.
Tara Flynn, yes. Mike Brown.
Yes.
And Debbie Grant.
Yes.
Can I hold up for 1 second? Randy, are you in the back? Is that you in the back row? Can you hear us?
Occasionally. We are getting feedback, though.
Okay. All right, I just want to know because,
We can hear you talk, but in between, it's like an echoing feedback.
I think there might be too many mics on at the same time up there,
That's why you
possibly.
got mine
Or
turn
too
the
close
master
to-
volume up.
Maybe pull them up close and turn them on and off.
Nice one.
Nice one, George.
Okay, so we are now on the 14A, a brief discussion, of the codification.
This is another thing I'd like
He
to.
said brief.
I heard you.
You gotta turn your mic back on though.
Sorry.
Or be really loud.
Okay, this is another thing I'd like to put on the Abby list for an update, for where has this gone, where is it at? I found a motion that's dated in 22, we spent $700 with an ongoing maintenance agreement of $25.95. I don't even recall, then it got brought up, and everybody looked at each other like, what codification? What's that about? And then we, at the planning commission, got something forwarded from the prior supervisor in August that apparently had been at the township since April. And I have now looked at attorney's bills that we've been billed in excess of $2,500 with Abby's time back in December of '23, so the timeline for me is very confusing. when did it actually go to Civic Plus? The motion's in 22, but when did they actually get it?
They had it for a long time.
When did we get it back? Why is Abby's time before? Is Abby the one that sent the stuff to Civic Plus? And now I just found, poking around, we've already paid an annual maintenance agreement. We're not even using it. We haven't even told them if it's good or not. And we've just paid we paid more than what this agreement says, so clearly the price went up. I think we paid $2,800 in May. So I'd like to know, like, who's on deck?
Can I interject?
Yes.
Mr. Grubb, can you shine any light on that?
I'm sorry, on what?
On the codification process and where we are at on the codification of the ordinance?
That's curiosity. I have not been in touch with the company. I can't remember the name of the company right now.
You're on Florida, right?
Civic Plus.
Civic Plus, that's it. And I do have the name of a person that was working on that. Last time I spoke with them, probably 3 months ago, he said we were on the cusp of getting it all completed.
3 months ago.
3 months ago.
And
No, I think it's,
And that was to essentially link all of our ordinances, both, you know, all the planning and civic ordinances together into a document that's searchable by keywords and would be linked to our website.
And do you know if that encompassed all the recent ordinance amendments, or like, say, on renewable energy,
It
was
was
that all
supposed to
captured?
update everything,
Okay,
everything.
no, it doesn't.
I don't think it does either.
So if
but
it's
I-
not done, that's an issue.
There was a cutoff date. My understanding from reading what they sent back was that it was included everything up until possibly February, which Abby also made a comment similar to that in our planning commission meeting. I believe it is in the responsibility of the township right now. Who that is what I'm asking. They have sent a draft. It's 200 plus pages. They have sent some sort of sample thing. Is that a planning commission job? Is it part of what we're gonna ask McKenna to do? Because now we are in a state where we are paying a maintenance agreement on something we haven't even told them if it's good, bad, indifferent. And it does speak to, the contract does speak to a way to add things after the fact at a certain rate. They do address that, but
Wasn't there something
I
that,
remember this being brought up in a meeting since I've been here, because Rachel brought it up because of the amount of money it was. And
For the
I would have to
maintenance
go back,
agreement,
yeah, I would
right.
have to go back through the minutes to double check what month it was, but this has come up and we didn't get any real answers then either, and she called and talked to them, and I don't remember exactly what was said, but,
we asked Abby about it.
They
She
needed
said
more.
she would look back in her records to see what she thought was provided, like where the cutoff was for the provided, because clearly we're gonna have to add solar, wind, cargo,
right,
battery storage, all needs to get in there.
right.
But I feel like nobody's addressing this. That's why I'm bringing it up. So I think we need a little bit of background for maybe Abby. I am curious to know why what we're being billed for as a township, many hours, 5 hours at a
Oh,
clip. And that might very well be Abby turning over our stuff to them. I don't know. The dateline just doesn't add up for me, but
or she, no, because it was a year ago, right?
it was this, a year ago, she billed us a bunch.
I thought there was a final draft coming through, but Bill, I thought you said something about you had to have something to them by a certain date or something?
Yes, but at this point in time, my opinion would be to contact Civic Plus and say, what the hell's going on?
Okay, yep, I'm good. And then, Mike, Randy.
Randy?
Sarah, when you read the maintenance agreement, what are we paying $2,800 for if we have to pay extra to have
You know,
stuff added?
Randy, I didn't get that deep into it.
You
I
didn't?
really just was searching for old minutes and trying to put the timeline together. And whoever's gonna make that call, I just warn you, I think Civic Plus is gonna say, what do you mean, what the hell is going on? We've given it to you guys. That's where I think this stands, so.
Could it have been, real quick, could it have been buried in a secret file from the previous clerk? I don't know. Not Rachel.
Everyone on the planning commission has that email.
Understood, but the actual, was that document moved somewhere else, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
I don't know, we'll have to do a search.
but we need to finish it, whatever it is, we need to finish it.
Work on that together, yeah.
We'll start digging into it.
Yeah.
I'll call them. Call them, get some answers.
And Brandy, to answer your question, I sort of remember this, a little bit of this from a meeting, sitting there, and, that maintenance cost and stuff was for them to continue to put stuff that we pass here and stuff into that agreement and make sure it's filed properly in there, and to give everybody the access to it and stuff like that.
But didn't Sarah just say it was an extra cost to add?
Well,
Oh,
Pay
okay.
that per year for them to
right, you
maintain
pay
it.
that for them to
And then they
maintain
add
and do all
whatever we
that.
need to add?
Right.
Alright.
And who gives them that information?
Well, that's
The
what I
planning
wondered, it's at.
commission? I mean, cause I don't know who gives it to them.
I don't know if there was any direction on who gives who what, when, and where.
Yeah, I don't know that either, it's all stuff that we have to find out.
But they're gonna keep billing us.
Who's on first?
I heard
Hey,
I know.
we're on to new business.
Sarah, I thought I had almost all my stuff cleaned up here.
So we're on to the hiring of the newest, our new assessor. Everybody has the information, and the applicants that have applied. The Judy applicant, her application was pulled because she pulled her out from the running because she did not have, in her mind, enough experience and stuff to just be an assessor. She was the one that, had, a level 2 or 3, but she didn't really have any hands-on experience and stuff doing it. She was, felt she was over her head and stuff, so we are to, Peter and Brandy.
I'd like to make a motion to have Brandy as our assessor. I know she knows the stuff. She does an excellent job. And to have the other gentleman who can only be here on Friday, we would still be in a situation where when the public comes in on Tuesday and Wednesday, there wouldn't be an assessor to speak to. Because he'd be at his full-time job there at Howell Township.
So we have a motion. Would anybody like to second the motion?
I will second that motion.
We have a motion by Doug and a second by Tara. Board discussion?
And do we agree on salary?
So first,
I was gonna say, she has a letter.
Right, yeah, I'm
Right.
looking at it,
Okay.
43,000, per year.
right,
The responsibility that she has is worth that, and I have no problem with that. And she's brought in to the township a lot of money with errors that she's found. And they were grossly underpaid, Karen and Brandy.
so I know they're both here. Anybody on the board would like to ask either one of them questions or anything like that, I'm sure they would be willing to answer them. I know I spoke actually to all 3 of the applicants originally, twice. And like I said, the one gal
recused herself because she knew she didn't have the hands-on experience. Randy and Peter both, I've talked to both of them. They're both qualified people, obviously, to do the job. It would be, with Peter, would be a little bit of adjustments on how we do things here compared to the past. So, like I said, they are both here and they're willing to answer any questions you may have. So, I mean, this is like, this is your chance to do like an interview process if you want to.
Randy? How long does it take you to get a level 3 certificate?
I did not sign up for the October class.
I understand.
The next class that's available is in April, and it's a year-long class to obtain the level.
It's a year?
Yes.
Really?
Level 2 is 6 months, level 3 is obviously much more detailed and put you in a better position, that's why it's a year. It was hybrid, I guess they've recently changed it where it's all, Zoom and online, cause they did the 3 and the 2 and the 4, every third week we go to, Okemos, for in-class, but now we do it on Zoom, I guess. That's what I heard. Either way, it takes a year, starting in April. And I'm signing up in April.
And then, do we have Peter?
Right here.
Hi, Peter. Peter, can you tell us, you can hear, so, obviously the concern is only a Friday availability, so how would you manage this job?
Well, depending on if you want me here for the full day on Friday or half a day, I'll be able to come down on Friday, hold hours at that time if the public needs anything. And everything else with the job can really be done remotely besides the field work. Obviously, I would have to be out in the field to do that, and that's something I could take care of on Friday or the weekends as well. Phone calls I can actually handle in the evenings as well, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So,
So you would be working it more than Friday
oh yeah,
to accomplish this job?
oh yeah.
Okay. I guess for me, I'll say it, it's what I do. Faces removed from this decision, for me personally, it's a plus and minus, right? That's how I approach things, and it's not gonna, this won't be the first time you hear this out of me. I know I'm new to this position. This won't be the first and it won't be the last. I come at things very methodical. I am a rule-based follower. I look at law, rule, and decide. I'm very black and white. So for me, Brandy and Peter, it's about pluses and minuses, and in fact, Brandy is not a level 3. Peter is. The price she's asking for per parcel is basically equal to this level 3 applicant, and the 2 days a week is great. I mean, that's a plus for her, you know. I think the price is a little high. I'm not opposed to Brandy having it. I think it should be adjusted for a level 2 certificate and then revisit when she signs up for the class, and that is a township expense, the $1,000 she noted to take that class, I believe. That's part of the compensation package to me. I think the starting salary should be a little less, plus the $1,000 for the township to pay for this class for her to get the level 3 certification, if we're gonna entertain this. And then revisited when she does reach that level 3 certificate. Otherwise, I just feel like the price is a level 3 price and not a level 2.
Now, if you guys open the building on an extra day on Friday, how much added cost is that gonna be to have somebody here?
If he has to come in, be in
Right, you're gonna
office,
have to have
obviously,
somebody come here, right?
We have heating and lights
Right.
turned on, so that
Right,
would be
yeah.
a small extra cost, but yes.
Right, but there's an extra cost for that.
Correct.
If I may on that, if that is something you'd be looking into, I could only come in by appointment. Because like, as I stated earlier, most of the things can be done remotely or over the phone. But if someone would like to talk to me in person, I can also come by appointment, which would save the cost.
So and as you stated earlier, most of that interaction with the public, whatever, would be via phone.
Most of.
So if they come here, if somebody come here and wanted to talk to our assessor, you're here hired. And then we would have to take the note or something for you, and you only have 7 days to get back to them, like there's something there, right, that you're only allowed so many days to get back to somebody on those issues?
Yeah, the state requires an assessor policy that has to state how many days it would take to get back to somebody. Of course, if there was a certain day that we set aside for me to get back to them, that would be the day that you would say, you know, he can either give you a call during the evening, or if it's a more, you say, busier problem, it'd be something that would be done on that specific Friday. Or set day.
I would like to ask Peter if he's gonna be here one day a week, how he intends on assessing 20% of the properties every 5 years.
Well, you just stated that, Bill, in Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You've done them for field work, right?
You gotta do a field assessment of 20% of the properties every
I'm aware.
5 years. You can do that while you're here, one day a week.
Well, it wouldn't just be one day a week. I'd be able to do that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you have a lot of time to do that 20% as well.
I'm just nervous because I know our residents here expect the assessing office to be available when the office is open on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And you won't be here, and you're expecting people to be able to get on their computer and Zoom in to talk to you remotely.
Not Zoom.
I just don't see that happening.
Just cell phone.
Okay,
I could use Zoom if somebody really wanted to, but I've not done that in the past.
okay.
My personal feelings is that, I mean, I'm totally confident in Brandy passing and becoming a level 3. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, there's always somebody coming in that needs to speak to the assessor.
It's constant.
It's constant.
I had 3 phone calls today,
Yeah, I
just
mean,
from people who wanted to talk to her,
Yeah,
to
I
assessing,
mean, that's a given.
not including all the people who walked in.
Walk in.
I'm not saying I'm not, I know Brandy can absolutely do this job. For me, it's more, we're spending township residents' tax dollars, and to pay her a level 3 position, I just think it shouldn't come down to, I think personally, it should be somewhere around 38 or 39 plus the $1,000, so she'd be at a $40,000 compensation, just under what she is asking, and then when she passes, we reevaluate salary. I just think that's a better use of township funds, and I have all the faith that she can pass that and do a great job. But you are comparing 2 different levels, but,
Call for a vote, George.
I mean, I guess that, I know Brandy would have to be willing to do that as well, so.
Well, that's then, well, the thing,
So Brandy and I did discuss this earlier today, about those types of things. And it is my understanding that, what assessors are being paid in today's world, and the amount that they're getting, she feels that she's in line. And with the math that I do and stuff, basically, they say to start out at $25 per parcel. We have 1,899 parcels. She's at $22.86 per parcel, is what she's, somewhere in that neighborhood is what she is asking for. So she is under, like, the going quote-unquote rate.
yeah.
Peter's at $24.50 per parcel.
If for 25 is at what level of assessment?
So the 25 is just that, they don't really give, a level, it's 2 or higher, basically, because
because that's what is needed in this size township.
Township. Because let's face
Giving
it,
everybody the
Yeah.
info
right,
that's
and I mean,
available to what we
the
have.
assessor is a very important person, because without them and them doing the required things,
Well, and
the
when,
income then, isn't coming in, and she has found stuff and generated income, she works diligently.
yeah, she does. Also, I have a couple of things. She doesn't always just do assessing, like she, for instance, she's helping me learn about some of the cemeteries. We need a foundation measured. Brandy knows right where to go to measure the foundations, help get it done, and many other things. If we need help with something, she's the first person to say, oh, I can go do that. I think she's an asset, not
Oh,
just
yes.
in assessing, but to our
To the whole
township
thing.
office
Yes,
and board as a whole. really.
I totally agree.
And if you look at, like, I gave you guys the, information from Unadilla and Iosco Township with what their assessor's name. I don't think Brandy is out of line, really, with what she's asking for, based upon hours, everyone else works. Those are just the two that I have replies
Right.
from. I reached out to some other townships,
I know, I.
mostly for my own
I-
understanding, but I thought it would be helpful for all of us.
I truly think it would be a loss to the township if we lost Brandy. I mean, even before Brandy became an assessor, when I first started, she was here at the township hall doing whatever needed to be done.
Oh, I've always heard Brandy's a workhorse. I don't doubt that a bit. But when you evaluate a job, it's the job at hand. If she's paid for other, if she's doing other things, perhaps she should be paid for those. I mean, it would kind of be unfair to Peter to
Sure.
say, well, she does other stuff and
Well,
you can't.
sure,
I get the asset point. I don't want to discredit that a minute. I get the longevity, the familiarity with the township. We got a nice letter here from Dennis, giving her accolades.
we have a motion on the floor, so.
Correct.
Call for a vote.
So we have a motion on the floor to hire Brandy as our assessor for the $43,000 that she has asked for. By Deborah and seconded by Tara.
Can we amend? Do we have to vote on first?
I think we can amend.
1 year review, pending level 3 certification, and other work as assigned.
I won't be able to obtain that in a year from today.
Yeah, not.
I can't
Oh,
start
she
until
doesn't start
April.
until April.
It
I
was
just want you to know that.
April
Alright.
26th.
All right,
And it's a year after that.
yeah.
I
okay.
just want you to know that I can't
Yep.
do that.
So it would be,
April or May of 26th.
yeah. So we'll probably wanna do like June or July, 26th, to be safe, or something like
Right.
that.
Okay.
And Deborah, okay that, because she's.
I approve of it.
Okay.
Are we wanting a review in June or July? Do we want a hard,
Yeah, we should have a hard date.
What, okay, if it goes a year, and when do you get notification, do you have any idea when you would get notification of the passing of it?
Last couple times, like when I took my MCAT and both exams for my NCAO, we took it and the next day we'll guess.
It's immediate, it's immediate, it's not like a month delay or anything.
No, it was the next day for my last 3 exams.
so,
June.
June?
Yeah.
I mean, I can give updates, they break with level 3, there's more exams. MCAT was just 1, NCAO was 2, and I believe there's more for MAAO. I could give you guys updates after each one.
You have any idea if there's an accelerated program?
No,
Just wondering.
Or you can pay separately to take each session, which costs more, or you can take a full year.
Taking the 4 years is the best route.
It's cheaper.
Mike, for clarification, you said this $25 per parcel that you got information on is stipulated as level 2 or higher.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, good.
I'm good.
You wanna,
Motion to hire Brandy as the assessor for Conway Township at $43,000 with a review in June of 2026.
43,000 per year.
Per year, yes, sorry, per year with a review in June of 2026.
Do we wanna break that down in a monthly?
We can.
You probably should also state it in a parcel price, because that seems to be the customary for the job. Which I think is $22.64 per parcel.
Until February, thanks, Mr. Bushy.
Thank you.
What'd you say, Brady?
I said until February, thanks to Mr. Bushy's, it'll go down.
I don't think
Yes, do a big split.
Couldn't let it go, could you?
Nope.
Couldn't let it go.
43,000.
No, I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I was doing something else over here. Yeah, it's 22.64 per parcel.
22.64 per parcel.
Mm-hmm. So do you want it as per parcel instead of by month or?
Both. I
You
think
want
it should be both.
Okay. Per parcel.
Sorry, your motion.
No, it's fine.
It's $22.64 per parcel and $3,583.33 a month.
I'm good with that.
Everybody good with that?
Was kind of the motion, other word is assigned?
I can. Everybody good with that? Motion to hire Brandy as assessor for Conway Township at $43,000 per year with a review in June of 2026. And currently at $22.64 per parcel, $3,583.33 a month, and other work as assigned.
Perfect.
Okay?
Now we
Everyone
just
good with
need
that?
we need a roll call.
Okay, yep, I have my heart ready for that. Sarah Porter,
Yes.
George Bushy,
Yes.
Mike Brown,
Yes.
Debbie Graham,
Yes.
Sarah Porter. Yep. Motion approved.
Okay, the next item. First of all, I'd like to thank Peter for putting in his application and for coming tonight.
Yes, thank you.
It helps us out with some questions and things that I have.
You can see that was
Is that better?
Yes.
So I'd like to thank him for coming. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
So the next, item is the septic pump out. It's done every 4 years. Brandy notified me, they always do it on an election year to make it easier. I won't tell you what she says. You know how she says it?
So we have two bids, I talked to both of them. So the, Patrick Esper bid for the $900, includes, so we have three different tanks, or two tanks and a chamber, which is part of the tank. So we have a 1,500, 1,000, and a 500, and the 500 is the one that has the filter and all that stuff in it. So the Esper, quote is to clean them all, clean the filter, do all that stuff, and to do the pump out chamber area. The Heartland septic is for the $735, but if they have to do the, pumper chamber, it's another $300.
So Esper's cheap.
So Asper's cheaper because he's doing all of it, and it all should be done. We should.
I'll make a motion that we hire Patrick Esper Septic for $900.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to hire Patrick Esper Septic for the pumping of our septic tanks.
Yep. My friend.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion passed.
That is gonna be
Next is the building update. Russ?
Never gonna get to me.
My kid got the car because he was so nervous.
So real quick, Russ, before you can start to speak. So there was two quotes that were put in the packet. They're the old quotes that were put online a couple of months ago when it was bid before. So those were the two quotes that, because they were already online, we just carried them over. So from there, we rebid the project, and we would go from there.
Yeah, so we did, last time, we picked somebody to do the siding, and he backed out, so I started looking for other siding bids. And I received more this time than I did the first two times. And, I have all those. So the wood that we replaced all the way around the perimeter of the building, that was replaced. And, that was done with pressure treated plywood by the brick mason. And they covered that up with waterproofing. They had their inspections on the brick flashing. And they are about 99% done. They have two windows that they have to address. That was because of the distance away from the window for the brick and how much trim we were gonna have. So we're gonna go with like a 3 to 4 inch trim. And that's gonna be wrapped out of aluminum. So the bids were, we put out another request for proposals for bids without the wood this time. And I received quite a few up until today. So would you like me to go through those?
Please.
Okay. First one is Kansa, Khansa Group, Kansa Group. They are, they're all, for just the siding and the labor and all the things that would need to be done with the windows and stuff like that, they were at $28,950. Also received a bid from Exterior Enhancements, which is a Fowlerville company. They have a bid of $25,250. from DTR Contracting, also from Fowlerville, for $28,125. I have another bid from T&L Seamless Gutters. They're also from Fowlerville for $26,082. I have another bid from Ott Construction, also Fowlerville, for $28,600. And, last but not least, I also have a bid from Scott Flannery, Fowlerville, $28,108.
Say that again, please. 28.
28,108. 28,108. So, I just messed my own stack up here, hold on. There's 25, 26, 28. So that would be your lowest bid, $25,250.
Russ, are they all apples to apples, same number of squares, et cetera?
Well, they're generally in the ballpark of each other, but like some people have 38, some people have 33, some people have 40. So they're kinda all in the ballpark as far as squares go. But I think what we should do, is make sure that in our contract, it says that they're gonna side the building complete, so that we don't have a issue where somebody says, yeah, well, I only had 33 square on there, and it looks like it's 40. So I think that's part of the deal. I think if you're gonna come out here and measure it, you should get the right amount. This one's 42 square, this one's 33 square. So everybody has a different take on how many square it is. Now, we all know it's mathematically impossible for that to happen, so I think that it would be a good idea for us to stipulate that, you know, in our contract, that it's to wrap the building complete.
Correct.
Or
Won't matter
just figure out the square
how many
price.
square.
Agreed.
I mean, if they say 30.
What?
If you just figure out the square price, if somebody said 33 and somebody said 43, just say, well, it's $100 a square, whatever it figures out to be.
Well, my feeling on that, and this is just my own personal feeling, they're all big boys, they all got tape measures, they all came out here to take a look at the job, and if they didn't count it right, that's their problem. So, that's why I think if we're gonna go forward with somebody, we just tell them straight up, all right, you bid $25,250 to wrap our building, and that's what we want, and that's what we expect, and we'll make sure that we put that in writing, so that they understand that it's, you know, if it turns out to be 35 squares, they're not coming back looking for another $1,000.
You haven't measured it yourself to
Agreed.
figure out for sure how many squares we need?
Pardon me?
You haven't measured it to figure out for sure how many squares?
No. Only because, well, for one thing, I wasn't bidding it, but I still, whether they give me, they could put 2 square on here, okay? They're gonna have to sign a contract that they're gonna wrap the building for X amount of dollars. I don't see any other way to do it,
Do you have
really.
any unit pricing?
Well, there's different unit pricing, I mean, this one's got a $500 unit price, this one's, you know, different. They're all different. Everybody sees it a different way. I wanna just look at it like we want our building wrapped and we want it complete all the way down to the caulk for what you bid it on. And if they can't do that, then we're gonna have to go to somebody else.
Have they all been vetted?
Agreed.
Insurance,
Yes, yes, that's my first question out of my mouth when I talk to somebody is, do you have insurance?
Let me
And
see it.
I haven't asked them for licenses because this is a commercial building, so technically, they don't necessarily need a residential builder's license, but they have to have liability and comp. And it has to meet minimum thresholds that are standard, like $1 million of liability. You know, and they have to have minimum standards. So all of these do have that.
Okay.
I got one today that I didn't get to ask that to, but he was a higher bidder.
Russ, I have a Google view I can share with you that says the exact square footage of this building, which I think is 44, but if you subtract the 3 foot times 400 for around the building for the brick, that will eliminate 12 square,
Okay.
and that's a very accurate number.
Okay. And so,
Did they use the blueprints and take off
Yeah.
on the print?
well, if they asked for them, they certainly got them, but, most people just measured the building themselves. Some people just look at it, I mean, a lot of people can look at these jobs, especially if you've done enough siding, you can look at a job and kinda guess what the square is.
Russ, who was that gentleman answering that question back there? Who's the guy giving you the square?
My name is Matt Newell.
That's Matt Newland.
And which one of these are you, Matt?
Exterior enhancement.
Which was the 25,250?
Yep.
Correct.
25,250,
I
yeah.
got different things here. Russ, a question for you. What did Nation Building Company cite as a reason for backing out of the original, the one we passed last month? Or for,
I don't believe that he was prepared to start as fast as I wanted him to, because the reason that we asked him to do the wood was so that the brick guy could do the brick. But he never really gave me a reason, he just withdrew, he simply said, I'm withdrawing my bid. So he never really gave me I withdrew my bid because of X, he just said, I'm out.
okay. I just wanna make sure, I mean, if it's something that, a roadblock we're creating, doesn't matter how many people we line up if we don't fix the roadblock, so, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't wanna do it, other than he did say when he bid it that he was pretty busy. So maybe that was part of it. I don't know. I don't know why he backed out of it.
So Russ, are the materials exactly the same for everyone?
Say again?
Is the materials that they're going to be using exactly
Or-
the same?
Yes, so we're gonna have double 4 siding. I don't think we've changed our minds on colors, although I've been getting a lot of feedback about
Green, just branding.
Randy, we're gonna have a discussion after this meeting.
The green is ugly.
I didn't say
Can we at
that.
least put it out for the old township?
Well,
Motion's been made and approved.
I would like to say, okay, in Randy, she has kinda convinced me that maybe it is a lot of green, so.
See?
I
may-
thought we were doing white trim, so.
Yeah.
They're not.
But maybe what we could do is maybe at the top, maybe we could just put some tan or something to break it up a little bit. Maybe put tan gables, kind of the color of the paint in here, along with the green. Would that make you happy?
No.
Only put green on the back of the building, so Dana has to see it.
Who's Dana?
Do it like the board voted for.
Russ, who's
Do
your
it.
recommendation?
Get
out
it
of
done.
the list you reviewed?
Say again?
Who are you recommending out of the list you reviewed?
Well, I always thought we had to go with the lowest bidder. So I mean, these are all great people. None of them are bad people. I mean, so.
From what you've got in front of you, there's no material differences in the bids. Is that fair?
Well, there may be subtle differences in the bids. But what I guess I'm saying is that I'm not prepared to say, okay, here, you got the lowest bid, you're at 33 square. I think, and this guy here is, let's see, where's he at? This guy's 30 square.
Which one's 30 square?
Kanza.
Okay.
This one's 42 square. So I mean, I don't know where he's putting all that siding, but
Which one's that?
On another job.
that's DTR contracting. He's got 42 square. So, and then Scott Flannery has, he's not even saying, he's basically saying, gonna wrap your building for X amount of dollars. Kind of the bid that I'm looking for, but it's more money. But I'm just saying, that's how we have to approach this. We can't. Did you say this is your exterior enhancements?
Correct.
Okay,
I can reword that for you if you guys would like.
there you go. So,
What was
I
maybe,
missed that.
What was that?
maybe he said he would reword this for us if we would like, which I would like him to. I'd like him to say that he's gonna wrap the building for X amount of dollars with our metal trim and such.
He only gets
You
free
guys-
siding.
When they bid, you spec'd it that way, so they all bid it the same way.
See?
I didn't,
Per your spec.
but I didn't spec how many square it was.
I understand that, but you can handle
I
that in the
asked
language.
it to be wrapped in aluminum, or windows in aluminum and vinyl double four on the building. So that is the whole building and,
But yet, they will sign a contract with the township, correct?
yep,
And the verbiage or language will be contained within that contract, correct?
correct.
All right.
They will say that they will wrap the building to our specifications of double four and color.
The building will be completely sided and trimmed per the bid specs.
Correct. I'm all over that. That's exactly the way we should do it.
Russ,
Because then there's nothing left to negotiate. It's,
Regardless of their per unit or square quantities.
regardless,
You're gonna eliminate all that by the language in the contract.
correct.
I have a question.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know anything about building or whatever, but then too, does that include like gutters? Would we, I mean, obviously we would have to, no,
Doesn't include gutters.
but we would have to have gutters, wouldn't we?
We will have to have gutters.
Different company.
We have a few things that we're gonna have to get bids for that we've been working on getting bids. Gutters will be one of them.
Okay, just wondering.
The other thing, we have some drywall repair in here that has to be done also. And, we have some insulation things too going on also.
Right, we were gonna get to that one.
Yeah.
With this.
So I guess what we should do is, I'll hang on to all of these, and we will give the winning bid an opportunity to sign that contract to wrap our building complete with trim. And then if he's willing to do that, then he will get the job. If he's not, then we'll have to go to the next guy.
That's, I'm just gonna say that.
Should we make a runner-up just in case we get into the same situation? Can we make a runner-up so we
In
don't
other
have
words,
to
if they
read
bow
a whole?
out, we can go to the next one.
Is that
We gotta get it
possible?
done.
Yeah.
No, I'm good with that.
Okay, good.
Well, let me find the runner-up here.
And is he the winner? Cause he said he's out of green side.
Does this trim?
So Brady's determined he's the winner.
Okay, the runner-up is T and
Can we
L.
revisit the assessor motion?
Does this,
Well, just don't tell her that it's gonna be green until it's done.
It's awful
We have
green.
a question.
does the siding and the trim, does that address the window issue that we have?
The flashing,
Okay, that's what I kind of figured, but I just wanted to make sure.
the flashing on the
Friends?
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys resolved that problem
Yeah.
there. Thank you.
Now,
That's it.
there is kind of a situation with that. Remember last time I was talking about having the windows reset to bring them out to where they were supposed to be? a few people that I talked to when they came to measure the building and stuff were concerned about how that's gonna work, basically, because of the depth of the windows. The metal's gonna have to be pretty pronounced on the windows, so they're gonna look a little different.
Not
And
Bigger profile, which is not.
it's gonna make, yeah,
Yeah.
Russ,
So, your windows are definitely recessed in. That can lead to potential water damage or water infiltration. It's kinda like a bowl, you know what I mean? It's gonna take away from it aesthetically as well, because it takes away from the picture frame. If you go out there and you grab like a 1x4 or 1x6 right now and slide it over to where it terminates into the window, it just took all your trim on your picture frame of your window. So I think at this stage right now, it's quick and easy to reset that window. It's definitely gonna cost a little more money, but in the long run, it's gonna save you thousands.
Is that something that you can do?
Absolutely.
Is it in the bid already?
No, it is not in the bid right now.
No, we're
no, because I brought that up last time, but we didn't really wanna reset the windows, we didn't wanna get rid of the windows. Originally, I just wanted to rip them out and put the ones with the flanges in, be done.
Now, wait a minute. now.
But that's all brand new windows.
It was in the motion, and it was rescinded from the motion at the last month's meeting.
Right.
And that's because we got into the cost of the interior.
No, I get it, I'm just saying that we did talk about it,
It's
and had
not
it in the
just the
motion.
exterior, too. So
you
that's
guys are
all
having
the
bad
stuff.
feet again.
It was you.
So,
I'll just talk louder.
just talk louder.
Got it.
And as soon as I get done here, while you guys are talking, I'll try to tweak those little dials back there to get you guys. Cause honestly, I've been here since April, and it's one of my pet peeves, is that I cannot hear what you guys are saying. You can't always hear what you're saying, sometimes I can hear what you're saying, but am I the only one? Cause I know I'm hard of hearing.
It's just age. No, you are not.
It might be age. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm getting old, but I just think that it'd be nice if we could tweak those mics in so that you guys are.
I think we need more speakers in the back of the hall, that's what we need.
Well, or the knobs got turned and they need to be adjusted.
We'll do the stand up.
How much approximately extra would it be then to reset the windows? I mean, I know we're gonna end up then at that point having extra interior work that will have to be done. Am I wrong with that?
Well, believe it or not, that they have trim around them now. And if I'm not mistaken, when they replaced the windows, they shoved those windows in until they hit the drywall.
Okay.
And then the trim that's around there is basically just to cover that seam. So there's a good chance that it could just be reset, because it's only an inch, they're in an inch, about, roughly an inch. So that probably could just be trimmed around the inside.
Brandy's gonna have
And
level 3 by the.
Probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. We're still gonna have to have somebody, have somebody do drywall repair over there.
Right.
Brandy's office has got drywall
Yeah.
repair. So we're gonna have to have somebody come in here and do drywall repair and paint.
I'd say
That might be a trim carpenter though, to trim that out, so.
I'd say close to a few $100s per window.
A few $100s per window?
How many
Okay. Like 6 few, 5 few, 4 few?
Yeah, like,
I mean, if you just use that number, that should be more than safe.
So,
use which number?
maybe,
I think there's
Okay,
19
300
windows.
times all of the windows?
George, what if we had them, what if we had top 3, or Mike, top 3?
The bottom 3 bids?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
the 2 lowest bids, or 3 lowest bids, or whatever, and have them,
We're gonna make a motion.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a good idea I just think it's a good idea to reset the windows. One of the other benefits of resetting the windows would be that we'd actually be able to take them out for a second and get the right type of waterproofing on the windows, on the jambs, on the actual building, the way that it should be, the way that it should have been, and the way that it's done everywhere.
Okay.
I know, and you know, yeah, it's more money and all that stuff, and I know we're trying to be good stewards of the township's money, but I really believe that if we don't do it, we're probably gonna be redoing it again sometime. And if we do it right this time, it might last a lot longer, especially if we get waterproofing on the actual openings in the building, because there's no waterproofing on them at all.
So for the longevity of the building and for after we're all not here, or
Right.
whatever, to make this last, the best course of action would be to reset the windows, waterproof it, and, just cover all of that.
Yep.
And then we shouldn't have to do this again for, as long as we do our building maintenance.
We shouldn't be doing it now.
Right, well, I understand that, I'm saying we need to think going forward.
I get it.
So you said 300 a window, how many windows?
I think there's 19.
A lot of windows. 4,500, 19, it's gonna be, that's about $5,000. 51.
And if there's.
Right, I paid that in taxes just this other day.
What needs to be done on the interior, because we do gutters and interior work as well.
Well, see the sill there?
Yeah.
That all got blown out when they did their thing over there. And we have another window like that in Brandy's office that's like that.
Okay.
So that has to be done.
Stuff like that up there with the speaker.
That's been there for years.
Well, I mean, that wasn't caused by that, but yeah, that's pretty ugly. That could probably be fixed, but.
Yeah.
But basically, like that sill right there,
It dropped at half.
it's gone.
Yeah.
So that has to be redone.
Yeah.
Then there'll be a gap inside of the window.
Yeah.
Because there are two
Okay, here we go.
windows and the
Yes.
fixed wall.
So bottom two or three?
I mean, I think.
We're gonna start from the bottom and work up, and to where we end up finally getting the bid, is what I'm getting at. I'm not gonna exclude any of these bidders,
Okay.
okay? We're gonna start at the bottom with the low bid, and we're gonna work up from there until we get somebody that takes the job.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Now, are we resetting the windows, or are we not resetting the
We're
windows?
resetting the windows, I think we should reset the windows, personally.
I put it in the motion last month.
I know, but then it went back
Yep.
and forth about the cost.
Oh, are we in agreement before I make a motion? What are we doing here?
I'm in agreement
I'm in
to
agreement.
reset the windows.
Okay, motion to take the lowest bid and be progressive to the next highest bid until we get an active contractor to fully complete the siding and trim work on this hall, including resetting the windows.
Yes. Which is not included in any of the bids.
Which is not included in any of the bids.
Because we weren't gonna do it.
We weren't, well, we were, and then it got changed.
Well, penny wise, dollar foolish.
I get it.
I second your motion.
He's saying almost $6,000. Can you just add that to his bid and go, and make a motion?
No, we're gonna break it out separate. Cause the bids are already in. I hear what you're saying, Jim.
But we're putting resetting in the motion, so
Okay, so
it'll be covered.
we reset the lowest bid. We're gonna ask that contractor about resetting the windows and how much that cost is over and above what his original bid was. And then if he's good with all that and the price of resetting the windows, I think we should, somehow there's gotta be a little flexibility in the price of resetting them windows and who we hire so that we're not coming back again for
Right.
approval of that for resetting the windows. So we have the only contractor that showed up today here, and he's saying
Okay,
So do we wanna set that as our
we're gonna put it in motion.
price for that?
We're gonna put it in motion.
Is that correcting the inside and the outside of the window?
Right, I would definitely,
The same contractor doing both, or?
yes.
Well,
in
you
my
do
case.
drywall repair?
Yeah, we do drywall. We do everything.
But that's not part of this, it's not part of this. We're only talking about the bids in before us now and the addition of resetting the windows per window cost, okay? That's the only amendment today.
And your 300 doesn't include drywall.
And you're gonna list it, we're gonna list it as 300 per window.
But he's saying 300 per window includes,
No, it doesn't.
includes
Hold on.
the interior and exterior of those windows and finish? Or
Yes,
just-
the trim, resetting.
That's what I
yes.
thought.
Okay.
So now
Not
that
the
we
drywall, not the drywall.
correct, not the drywall work, but he's retrimming the inside of the windows so that
That
there is no
really
drywall.
shouldn't
work
need
there
drywall work there.
on the windows themselves.
Okay. We want that stated in the motion, or you want to have Russ put it in the bid, or in the
I
contract?
think it should be stated in the motion that
Okay.
he, that the windows to be trimmed,
Trimmed complete.
complete.
Don't forget the waterproofing on the jams. If we're taking them out, let's waterproof the jams.
Maybe
That's
just
George,
take
it only
out the
makes
water.
sense.
I'm not arguing, I'm just trying to format the motion here. So waterproofing, how'd you say it, Russ?
Reset the windows, waterproof the sills,
I think we can get away with proper flashing of,
proper flashing.
Flashing,
Reset the
waterproofing.
windows and
Okay.
properly flash
Yep. And trim complete.
and trim complete.
I think we're good, right?
Yeah,
I think, until next month?
okay,
Now, this is progressive. In other words, if the lowest bid does not accept, it goes to the next bid. Comprende?
comprende.
Okay.
and we're using the $300 for the windows and the.
Well, we're gonna let him tell, he's saying 300, but I want, it's gotta be in writing, right? So-
Right, we're basing it on 300 per window.
Right, okay.
Correct.
The other guy, next guy might be more or less, so I don't know. But we're gonna go with, so do you want me to get the winning bid, you want me to get the price for resetting the windows and trimming them complete, added to this bid? Do you want me to call the second place guy and ask him to do the same thing now? Or do you want me to see if this guy will do it and we'll go with him?
I think, as George said, we're progressive, so you use the lowest bid and find out, and then if that doesn't work out, you go to the next.
You go to the next one. This-
Okay.
No, to be clear, the gentleman in the back of the room is the low bid.
Yeah.
He is, actually,
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
Good,
he's here.
but he's not a green siding.
Now, wait a minute, he's hiding back there. You have any issues what's being discussed right now? Speak now.
Yeah.
No, we're good.
Waterproofing, waterproofing.
No.
No dark green.
We're good.
Are you available tomorrow?
Yeah. What time?
Yeah.
I'm here 9 to 3.
We have a motion by George Pushies and a second by Tara Foote
Yeah.
for a hiring of the contractor in a progressive manner from the lowest bid on up to the highest bid, and for resetting of the windows to be flush with the OSB on the exterior of the building and flashed properly
Waterproof.
and with the waterproofing membrane for windows.
Trim complete.
Trim complete.
And trim complete in the interior.
Yep, reset windows, waterproofing, properly flashed and trim complete.
Roll call.
Yep. D-Grub,
Yes.
S. Porter. T. Pushies,
Yes.
T. Foot, yes. Mike Brown.
Yes.
I have a question for the contractor in the back of the room. How soon can you start?
Very,
Pardon?
very soon.
Very soon.
Define very soon.
Immediately. When the material-
After he completes the paperwork.
Thank you, Sarah.
Don't make me come find you.
George, he's got it green siding.
Within a week, probably, right?
Yeah, as soon as the material comes in, that day.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you. Next item is the installation.
Yeah, so, the contractor that did the mold removal, went up in the attic, we had to have him do a walkthrough up in the attic to make sure that that was all good before we paid him. And he found mildew from both ends of the building where the big metal vents were. They were allowing water to come in, and that's turned the whole backside of that pretty much black. And, it probably should be replaced. So there's about 4 sheets on there that have to be replaced. But in investigating that, he found that there needed to be some more insulation. So, one of the things that they were bidding for us was, to add 8 inches of insulation to our attic. The reason for that is because right now, they estimate that we have R30, and we could probably use some more. R49 is code for residential now.
I was gonna say R50.
But, we're not residential, so we don't actually have to adhere to that. But we do need to get rid of the 4 moldy sheets of OSB. Mike and I were working on trying to get some contractors to bid the insulation, and Mike got a bid from a company out of Brighton, or Wixom, sorry, and they were, just to do the insulation, was $7,500. So the original mold guy, he's willing to put in 8 inches of insulation, chemically mold treat the area up in the attic. He's also going to do all the large air penetrations above this drop ceiling where they go through. He's gonna foam all of those. And the whole thing was only $5,700. So, much better price for insulation and all that work than just the insulation from an insulation contractor. So, my recommendation would be that we go ahead with them and have them, if you want extra insulation, but I think it's probably a good idea. It wouldn't hurt.
What was the installation price, Russ? He's got it broken down.
So just for the insulation, to add 8 inches of blown-in insulation on top of what we have, just for that was $3,058.44. So $3,060.
Cellulose?
Yeah, like blown-in insulation. Yep.
It's not fiberglass, it's cellulose.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So that's like 3,000 compared to 7,500.
And the mold spray and the fogging, 100% should be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He's also adding baffles up there too, because we're gonna add insulation, so they're gonna redo the baffles that allow the air to come in to, the attic, which is $771. And then the mold treatment was $550. They're gonna fog up there, which, okay, $170. And then for them to, foam all and air seal all the protrusions, there's up to like 32 of them. That was $1,087. So a total of $5726.46.
Russ, that was addressing those gaps on either end?
The gaps, well, there's that OSB that is below has to be replaced, and then the gaps along the rakes will have to be taped. So the same kind of tape that we used to do the windows, the cider will have to put over that gap, which
Okay.
is about 2 rolls.
'Cause I remember he addressed that, he said that, you know,
Yeah.
they're anywhere from a half to an inch
Yeah,
from the top to the OSB, you could see daylight
Yeah.
on either end.
yeah, we're definitely gonna wanna have them sealed, air sealed.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not, it's something that nobody will ever see, basically, but we'll just have the peace of mind knowing that we did it.
Right.
So,
So I guess the question is, do you wanna go ahead and have, the mold guy go ahead and do the insulation and the mold remediation for 5726, 46?
Is he charging us for another dumpster?
Yeah, they did kinda hit us on, they did kinda overcharge us, they tried to overcharge us for dumpsters, but, we put a stop to that, and they did correct it. But they still, you know, they got a fuel charge on here of $88, and, I don't know.
Was it actually called the mold guy?
No, it's called home
Nah,
solutions.
I'm calling him the mold guy, it's Your Home Solution Experts in Lansing.
There's a question in the back, Mike. I wasn't aware that, that was something you guys were accepting bids on. I don't know if you guys would be willing to wait a week or your next appointment and give me a chance to bid on it. I'll do my best to match your lowest bid. I just can't, I
Charlie's
just
over
can't.
there. Why don't you sit up front?
I just can't go out there and say I'll match it without knowing the square footage and what have you.
I think when it comes to the mold remediation, I think we should have a company that's licensed, you have to be licensed to to do mold remediation. And I think we should use a company that can certify and sign off on the building that it's been treated.
plus with that contract that you have, or that quote that you have, it's giving us a guarantee on, I think it was 5 years,
Yeah.
as part of the pricing. 5 years.
On the mold stuff, but on the other part of the contract or the insulation, it could be, the gentleman in the back could possibly bid on
So,
that.
I would.
On the installation part?
On the insulation, yeah.
If we do not have them do the insulation, the rest of the pricing may change on pricing.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a possibility. And we can wait on this.
We can wait on the insulation.
Because if we're gonna have a spray foam, all the gaps and stuff, the siding on would be a good idea. At least the rubber that's covering the gaps up at the rake and stuff, before
Seal up the exterior before you start blowing stuff around. But is the signer gonna be replacing the OSB that's damaged? Is that part of the bid or not part of
Yeah,
it?
there are 4 sheets from what, isn't that what we thought, about 4 sheets,
Yep.
Mike? Yeah, about 4 sheets that are gonna have to be replaced, but it's this thing on the gable on the outside.
On the west?
Well,
Yeah, on both ends, actually,
where those two big
both ends,
cable lines.
but that's part of it, and I've told all of them that there was 4 sheets. Well, everybody was aware of the 4 sheets.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's been I've been reiterating that.
4 sheets gotta be done before he can do the siding.
Yeah, he's gotta do the 4
He's
sheets
doing
to
the
do the siding.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So if he's not replacing the 4 sheets,
No,
Oh, he
they
is.
gotta,
Four sheets of us.
he is. I told everybody that there was 4 sheets.
I thought,
Now, if there's 5,
I thought that bid was for the 4 sheets.
Yeah, no.
The fogging and Your Home Solutions quote, or do you wanna try to get one?
I can get more insulation quotes.
We can do the mold stuff. Get that
Gotta
taken
get
care
this
of
shit
and
done.
see
Well, I-
other bids on the insulation.
Well, shouldn't we like, I think, I don't know, but I just think we ought to get those 4 sheets of OSB replaced before they go through fogging and
Oh, yeah.
spraying and,
That's what I'm saying, we don't have to do this.
we don't have to do any of this stuff that I'm talking about right now, the insulation and the mold remediation doesn't have to be done right now, but it is gonna have to be done at some point.
And I'm just telling you, on their insulation price and stuff, on the other stuff, if they don't come and do the insulation and everything, the price is gonna change on the mold remediation and fogging and the other things that they have quoted on.
get a quote either way, we'll know for next month, and then meanwhile, Russ can get out of here. Just postpone.
Postpone.
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
Yep, we're gonna postpone this from your own solution, we're still here.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I will, Mr. Doolin, and get all the specifics on resetting the windows and all that.
So instead of me saying I'm postponing it, or we wanna postpone it till January, I'm gonna say we're gonna postpone it until we have further bids and so we can make a good decision next time to be done. Whether that's January, February, we'll find out.
Sure. Making a motion.
Yeah, we'll make that motion. Make it for a second.
Read it back.
Motion to postpone until we have further bids for the mold and insulation.
Second.
We have a motion by myself and a second by George Pushies. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Okay. What's the other thing we have to go?
Gotta write it down.
We're good?
Yeah, right. Well, I would like to just toss this out there. A lot of other township halls have their name on them, on the building. And we could have a dark green bottom, a tan gable, and we could put Conway Township up in the gable.
That's why you're in the back of the peanut gallery.
No. Sorry.
Okay,
It's on the sign and it's on the wall,
Good.
okay, fair enough.
and that's from the original building.
Don't complicate the issue.
The other thing I'd like to say is I think you guys did the right thing in hiring Brandy. She's very helpful to me and to everybody in the office. And she knows our township like the back of her hand. She not only knows our township, but she knows the people that live at the houses. So it was a good move that you did that.
Agreed.
Okay, the next item is the appointment of new planning commission members. So I was, notified today that Kelly Rocco has pulled her application or her desire to be on the planning commission, so that is not going to be.
Mike, your things, you forgot to talk louder.
It's on, so I thought I was all right, because it keeps giving feedback when I do. So, at this time, I would like to, make a motion to reappoint Mike Stock, who is on the planning commission currently, to a new 3-year term.
I'll second.
A motion by me,
Wrong way
and a
around.
second by Sarah, to reappoint Mike Stock to the planning commission. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The next planning commission member, that I would like to, make a motion for, would be for, Steve Weiss. Steve has been coming to meetings and been involved in the township for a couple of years now.
Russ, can we do that tomorrow? You're making it worse.
Yeah. Has been an electrician for many years, and I think his knowledge is scratching and stuff.
still here, or you go home?
He's
Oh,
here.
okay.
He also worked elections as well, I would just like to throw that.
Discussion?
I second.
Discussion. So we have a motion by Mike Brown, a second by Sarah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
A little bit.
No?
Your turn now.
The next one is, appointment, the next one on the agenda is appointment of the board of review members. So the board of review members are, members that are currently on the board of review. They've been on the board of review for quite some time, they do a great job. Randy, recommends all of the current members that are on the board of review. So the first one would be George. I'm not positive how to say his last name, Frycheck.
Fur check.
It's Furcheck.
It's FYC, so.
It's Furcheck.
Furcheck.
Furcheck. Furcheck.
Okay,
It goes back.
okay, so I'd like to make a motion to reappoint George to the board of reviews.
Second.
Second.
So a motion by me, second by George. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The next one is Rich Ralston. Same thing, he's been on the board, reviews for quite some time. Met him for the first time, last week, and seems like a really good guy. And like I said, all these people, these first three have been on the board for quite some time. So I'd like to make a motion for, Rick Ralston to be, reappointed to the board of reviews.
Second.
The second by Doug Roden. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Next, reappointment would be for, Rick Hohenstein. Same thing, been on the board for quite some time.
He's only been on for a year, just so
3
you
years.
know. One.
One?
Yeah.
And he got hosed on being the,
Yep. He showed up.
he showed up late, so he got voted in as the chair.
That's what they do, just so you know, if you ever sign up for the board of review. The last one
I
there is
didn't
the
know it was
chair.
only 1 year though.
He showed up a day early to this meeting.
So, I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Rick Hohenstein as the, for the board of reviews.
I'll second.
Second. Motion by Mike Brown, second by Tara. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
No.
Motion passed. Alternates, Gary Klein, he has been an alternate, for the board reviews. This way, if somebody doesn't show up, you have somebody to call to fill the spot for that, particular meeting. So I'd like to make a motion for, Gary Klein as an alternate on the board of reviews.
Second.
Second by Deb. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. So on this next one, we have a candidate, Tom Parker, for the board of review. He's not been on the board of review, but he's been coming to township meetings and stuff for a while now.
Second.
Motion by Lee, second by George. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
You're so far out here.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is, for our Fire Authority Board, Deb Grubb had come to me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now, I think it was maybe my second day on the job here, and asked if, she could be, our appointee for the Fire Authority, and I had no problem with that myself. So I would like to make a motion to appoint Deb Grubb as the Fire Authority, our, what do you call it, our representative for the Fire Authority Board.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mike Brown, second by Tara Foot. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. And then the next item is that just so that people know, with all the switching and things that we've done here and the positions and stuff, that Deb Grubb did, appoint, Susie Everett as her, deputy for treasurer. So item number 22 is the, November 15th, 2024 special meeting legal review. And we're, would you like to speak for this?
No, I just didn't move. I move that Abby Cooper attend the January 21st, 2025 meeting to review the November 15th, 2024 Board of Trustees resignations, appointments to office to ensure proper execution and legal compliance, including but not limited to public notice, motions, votes, and township records.
I'll second the motion. Discussion. Okay, we have a motion by Sarah Porter to have, the November 15th, 2024 special meeting, have a legal review on that. I'll second it by me, all in favor, say
So, sorry, the background to this is, this meeting was, a lot of things happened in this meeting. I think it would be prudent to have Abby review it front to back to make sure everything is in order with the township. And I don't really know how much I should say, but we absolutely need a legal review. I have consulted an attorney already, and I think the township has exposure, and I believe she needs to come and speak to us about it.
And she was here on the meeting that was called to have that discussion.
I am not speaking to the MCL. I've read the MCL. I understand the 30 days. That stuff is not the concern. We do have an issue.
It's fine.
And then I think it would be an opportunity to speak of some of the other things that we're gonna have her here and speak to the other things that, need to be addressed with her.
Okay, we will move on to the, we have a motion and a second, correct? Okay, the next item is the, board meeting schedule for 2025. The dates that are on there sticks with the, third Tuesday of the month, all work, at 7 o'clock here at Township Hall. So I make a motion to continue having our meetings on the third Tuesday of every month for the year of 2025 at 7 o'clock at the Conway Township Hall. So we have a motion and a second to hold the meetings here at 7 o'clock on the third Tuesday of every month for the 2025. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes. The next one is the letter that we received from, Headland Solar, over wanting to meet, about a project that they may want to build in our township for solar. So I put it in the packet so that everybody realizes what's happening in our community with this. And that, I don't have anything else to add to that. So it's just an informational thing.
George,
Oh.
is it mine? It's your
Yeah.
mic, it's your mic. I
You're
think.
the problem, George.
Once again.
So I didn't,
Motion to adjourn.
so the next one is, we made a policy, which was for the assessors, accessibility, which was, presented by Brandy originally, or brought up, with classes that she took, so that we stay in compliance with the state's legal stuff. But it was brought on as policy 21, and then it was voted on as policy 21, but we have more than 21 policies, we already have a policy 21. So then it was brought up that it needed to be policy 23, but we also found policy 23, so now this is changing policy 21 to policy 24.
21 was in existence but no longer in use, and then we found a 22 and a 23
Correct,
that were not in the policy books, but they are now.
correct.
So soon we'll add 24.
Yes,
Okay,
that's the motion.
I'll second.
To revise 21 to 24. Policy 21 to 24 is the motion. So we have a motion by me, second by Tara. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. So then we have the add-on of number 26 is Livingston County Health Department.
I make a motion to direct the township supervisor, Mr. Brown, to contact the Livingston County Health Department in regards to the St. Clair County Health Department letter drafted November 25th of 2024, and to get their opinion on it. And it's written by Remington Nevin, the St. Clair County Health Department. I'd also like a legal opinion review from Mr. Holmgren on this.
I'll second.
Was the letter in the packet, George?
It was not.
What does it say?
Good one.
It's a good letter. I advise you to read it.
The letter wasn't in the packet because it was an add-on at the beginning of the meeting.
Can we have that information one more time?
What do you mean?
Can you restate your motion?
Motion to have Mike Brown contact the Livingston County Health Department in relation to the St. Clair County Health Department's letter, along with a legal review by Mike Homier.
There was a date.
It was dated November 25th of 2024.
Thank you.
So we have a motion by George Bushy's, second by Sarah Porter, for myself, Mike Brown, to contact, Livingston County Health Department, with the letter, about the letter from,
St. Clair
St. Clair County, letter on
Well, we all
November
need to get a copy.
25th, 2024, letter. And also contact Mike Conway to get a legal review of said letter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
Will the letter be included in the minutes?
It can be.
And we- Not opposed to having it put on the website.
My understanding is public information.
After talking with the health department and with Mike Conway, if it's good with them or whatever, put it on, I don't see why it wouldn't be, but we'll put it on our website. Anything else, board, from the board members? Any discussion on any other item?
We talked about the laptop for transcription. Did we want to discuss that anymore or no?
I think when, I would like to see when, Applied Innovations comes in and stuff, to discuss it with them and
And
get
then
some
come
good
back.
information,
Okay.
and bring it
Yep.
back.
Yep. And then, I'm sat in the back of that room. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear anybody. When I sat in the back of that room where Gabi is in the back row, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. We gotta get more
Did
speed.
they do any training when they set this up? Did they hear us?
They told us to only have one mic on at a time.
You guys,
You're supposed to turn them off and on.
Before or after we bought it, we were told that. Don't answer.
I have no idea, I just know that that was the thing.
Okay.
But Russ and I will tinker with it tomorrow when we don't hurt the audience's ears.
It is hard to hear, from back here, it seems
What?
like it's just underneath there with
Yeah,
the noises, there's
it holds
nothing,
the-
speakers in the
it holds
back
sound.
would help.
Yes.
Speakers are back there. Those are the speakers.
Right, but it sounds like everything's underneath there.
But that's why they get
Can't hear
feedback.
Well, their mics are on.
Back here.
We turn them all off.
Now we're just yelling.
Just saying, turn it on, George, well, not George, it's broken,
So we're
somebody else.
gonna do, call to the public.
Just one thing, so we had all these multiple sided bids, and do we send a thank you letter that we appreciated the getting? Because they all put a lot of time in this. Same thing with Peter, I thought it was really nice that you thanked him for coming, Mike. You know, they all came here, they all put in their time. It'd just be nice to have a thank you letter go to them.
Okay, I'll let you emails to you. I'll send them the guys.
Go ahead.
Doug Helserman, County Commissioner, I just want to say hello and welcome to the new people on the board. There's also, we have some visitors from Iosco Township here, and just wanted to recognize them. I think they're here incognito, but,
Trying to see
What the heck, Dylan, they call
Ms.
them?
Bondell, the treasurer, and Ms. Allen, the planner.
Assessor and
Assessor, and, okay, so, anyways, just wanted to let you know that they were here, if you didn't already know. I just wanna wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'd like that letter that you're sending to the, Health Department, if you could send it to my email, dhelserman@livgov.com. If you could,
I'll keep it official. We'll send it from the supervisor.
that's good. However,
There are,
but,
just so you know, Doug, there are other commissioners there are other boards that are making resolutions to that letter, for sure.
okay,
So it would be great to get it to your
okay.
panel.
Seems like there was something else I needed to so I guess it's not important, so.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Okay, I got a question pertaining to the siding, not the color. It's the old siding that was here that was delivered and then disappeared. If we ever found out whether there's any money back on that, or what the whole story on that is.
Well, I've not found out exactly, cause I didn't know at the time that it happened at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I am in contact with our attorney.
Okay, I just didn't wanna leave that money out there when we use it to.
Hold that thought till next month, she'll be here next month, you can re-ask that same question when she's here,
Okay,
okay?
thank you, George.
This guy again?
I would just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I promise that we'll all be able to hear them next month.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Alright, looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
That's George's line,
Yeah.
Motion by George, second by George, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Stole George's line.
Merry Christmas.
Congratulations.